In the captain's quarters aboard the USS Enterprise, Picard let go a sigh of disgust as his 10th attempt to fasten the high, tight-fitting collar of his dress uniform failed. Immediately, Beverly Crusher turned toward him, caught both sides of the recalcitrant collar with her thumbs, and gave it a yank that forced even more air out of the captain's lungs. Beside them, Troy paused to glance up from her pad, but wisely chose not to smile. Beverly suddenly clicked her tongue in disgust. "You either need a new uniform or a new neck." Meanwhile, Troy continued the briefing. "The people are known as the Evora. Population 300 million. Dapper in formal dress with a freshly trimmed beard, Will Riker entered the room. "Our guests have arrived and are eating the floral arrangements on the banquet tables." Dismayed, Troy scanned her pad for information. "Oh my God, are they vegetarians? That's not in here." "Bridge to Captain Picard." Picard immediately recognized the voice as that of Kel Perham, a brilliant young Trill recently assigned to the Enterprise. "Yes, Ensign." "Command wants to know our ETA at the Goran system." Picard frowned faintly at Riker. Command had been dumping missions on them fast and furious lately. This was just one more thing the captain hadn't had time to be briefed on yet. "The Goran system?" Riker showed no outward sign of frustration, but Picard sensed it all the same. "Captain, they need us to mediate some territorial dispute." Picard sighed. "So they need us to put out one more brush fire. Anyone remember when we used to be explorers?" No one answered. In silence, they all filed onto a turbolift. Another voice filtered through Picard's communicator. "LaForge to Picard. Captain, I need to talk to you before the reception." As Picard drew a breath to reply, the turbolift doors parted at the back entrance to the reception area. Picard suddenly found himself face to face with Commander Worf. Last Picard had heard, Worf still served on Deep Space Nine. "Worf, what the hell are you doing here?" The Klingon's stern expression lightened ever so slightly. "I was at the Menzar colony installing a new defense perimeter when I heard the Enterprise was in this sector. Mr. Worf, I have a few ideas I'd like to discuss about Menzar security." The Klingon nodded and excused himself. As Picard entered the banquet area, the crowd of Starfleet officers moved aside to give the captain's party access to the small Evora delegation. Picard's diplomatic smile faltered. There had been nothing in Troy's briefing to suggest that the Evora were not within physical parameters suited to a humanoid-fitted ship. The top of Regent Cusar's head, adornments included, barely came to the captain's waist. Troy recovered smoothly and with perfect graciousness bowed to the delegation. "Regent Cusar, it is my honor to present to you the captain of the Enterprise, Jean-Luc Picard." If Cusar felt any discomfort due to her diminutive size, she hid it well. Geordi LaForge walked over to the captain and interrupted. "Excuse me, sir. Admiral Doherty's aboard a Sona ship in Sector 441. He's requesting Data schematics." Picard sensed something wrong. "Data should have been back by now. They were only scheduled to observe the Baku village for a week. Set up a secured comm link to the Admiral in the anteroom." LaForge moved off to comply. Dougherty's call may have caused Picard concern, but at least it provided rescue from polite conversation. Before the screen of the console, Picard and Geordi LaForge listened to Admiral Dougherty. "He's not acknowledging any Starfleet protocols, not responding to any of our hails." Matthew Dougherty was aged 69, silver-haired, lean, tanned. Conversation with him was always a delight, until last year when his wife Madeline had passed away. Picard recalled that Dougherty had taken her death hard. He seemed recovered now, but sorrow had definitely aged him. They spoke of Data, who, according to Sona witnesses, had gone berserk and started firing at shielded cultural observers. Picard asked of Dougherty, You have no idea what precipitated his behavior? Dougherty shook his head. And now he's holding our people hostage down there. If what Dougherty was saying were true, then surely Data had suffered some sort of physical trauma. The Enterprise can be at your position in 2 days, Admiral. That's not a good idea, Captain. Your ship hasn't been fitted for this region. There are environmental concerns. They're calling this whole area the Briar Patch. Just get me Data's schematics. I'll keep you informed. Dougherty out. Picard turned from the screen to LaForge. His emotion chip? The engineer shook his head. Didn't take it with him. Picard paused. Send the Admiral Data's schematics. LaForge nodded. Picard knew there was no time to head for the Briar Patch, of course, but it was time to prioritize, and he knew with illogical certainty that whatever was happening in the Briar Patch with the Baku mission and to Data took precedence over all. Picard looked over his shoulder and called to a young Bajoran male to enter. Report to the galley and tell the chef to skip the fish course. Picard turned back to LaForge. I want our guest to depart as quickly as etiquette allows. I'll ask Worf to delay his return to Deep Space Nine so he can join us. We're going to stop by Sector 441 on our way to the Goran system. LaForge caught on immediately and flashed a small but brilliant smile before leaving.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.